All right. Hey, everybody. We are live. Hopefully you can hear. Say something in the chat if audio is working well. If you can hear me, let me know there in the chat. We're going to do our first giveaway at 5:10. We've got 3 things we're going to give away. And we'll do like a little trivia thing to give for the giveaway. So if you're here listening, let me know in the chat so I can shout you out. We got Pat D, who is the first person here in the chat. G Thompson, who is watching from his 72 Chevelle, which is pretty sweet. Give a couple more minutes for people to jump on before we give away that first thing at 5:10. But so this is the 1,000 subscriber celebration. We're not quite at 1,000 yet, but I'm sure over the next couple days we'll get there. And if you're familiar with YouTube at all, 1,000 is significant because that's when they let you monetize a channel. Not that 1,000 subscribers are going to be making any more than a couple bucks, but it's nice. I set myself a goal in 2020 to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, kind of launch this channel in 2020, and close to getting there. So happy about that, and super appreciative of all the people that have been watching. You guys comment on the videos and stuff and reach out to me. And I love talking with you guys, and it's great. So we give a shout out to Ryan Johnson out there. He's just joined on the chat, and you've probably seen Ryan in a couple of videos. He occasionally makes a video. He does a lot of work on some stuff. So Ryan's actually my uncle. He's only a year or two older than me. We grew up kind of in a strange family arrangement, but anyway, thanks for being here, Ryan. And so first, before we do that first giveaway, let's start talking about 2021, because I'm excited for 2021 because, our world was a little bit crazy this last year, and all the events that I put on my calendar for last year, they pretty much all got canceled. So the only thing that I did was I went out to Phoenix in January last year for like the Roadkill event. And then besides like one test and tune at our local track, we didn't really do anything else. Back towards the end of the year, I think it was November, when we did go to Cleetus and Cars in Florida and got to tour the Freedom Factory and stuff like that. But, those were the only 2 things I did. So I'm super excited, and I'm really looking forward to 2021. So I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. Is there an event you're looking forward to? What are things that you're looking forward to doing this year? I've got kind of my list that I make. So beginning of the year, I make my calendar out, and I start putting those events on the calendar so that I can arrange my schedule around them. And so I got a couple things on my calendar. For me, I really love Hot Rod Power Tour in the summer. And last year got canceled, or it got rescheduled, and then it got canceled again. So they haven't officially announced it, but I have seen a couple things online where, like, if you go to certain venues' websites on their calendar, they've got dates on it. So the things that we do know are going to happen are June 6th in Norwalk, Ohio, whatever that place is, Summit Raceway Park. They've already got it on the calendar. And then we've got June 8th at Lucas Oil in Indy. They've got that on the calendar too for Hot Rod Power Tour, even though they haven't officially made the announcement yet. So I don't know what you guys think about that. That's one of my favorite events. I love all the people. Everybody's nice. It's just like it's like the biggest multi-venue car cruise that there is. So that's one of my favorite ones. We're rolling up on 5:09, almost 5:10. So it's time to do that first giveaway. And if some of you are like fans and you've been watching the channel, or you've gotten a free sticker for subscribing, you may already have some of this stuff. But first giveaway, we're going to give away some stickers. So if you're still watching, this first thing here, let's see how many stickers we got. We got the Chevelle, so that's 1. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm missing the Camaro, so that's 7 stickers. So this first giveaway is going to be 7 stickers. All these that I showed you, that's the 64 C10. That's Ryan's truck. Ryan in the chat there. We got a couple OBS Chevys. We got the Miata cart, just the logo, and then we got the Chevelle right here. So we're going to give away those 7, and if you answer in the chat, so here's the first trivia question. So we've been working on this 78 Camaro Z28. So the first question is, what was the Z28 rated for in 1978? It's kind of sad what it was rated at. What was the horsepower of the 78 Z28? So first person to get that right there in the chat, you're going to get all 7 stickers. So that's the first one. And I don't know if we're on a time delay, so maybe you guys are a couple seconds behind in the chat there, maybe a minute or so, who knows. But there's your first question. What was the horsepower of the 78 Z28 from the factory? If you know that, we're going to send you all 7 of those stickers. But back to events. So we were talking about events. The other thing, if you got an event that you think people shouldn't miss, I want to know about it. So, we got our first one. 165 is close. I don't think that's the correct rating though. So I always love Hot Rod Power Tour. There we go. Pat D's got it with 185. So Pat D, you are the winner of all 7 of these stickers. And I'll figure out how to get a hold of you. We'll arrange that stuff later, but figure out how to send you those stickers. So there's the first one. We'll do another giveaway here in a couple minutes. So stay tuned and we will give away the next one. And the next one is going to be a hat. So we're going to have some Black Flag hats. And I don't physically have one yet. So you're probably going to get the first one. I don't even have one for myself. I've been meaning to replace this with a Black Flag hat, but I just haven't yet. So you can be the first one to get one of those hats if you stick around for that next trivia question. So I got my list of events. So my list of events that I don't want to miss this year. Hot Rod Power 2 is the first one. I love that one. You know, I've always wanted to do Hot Rod Drag Week. And that's usually, that's usually in September. And it got canceled again last year. So I've never made it to one. Every time we've gone to sign up, man, those tickets sell out in like the first minute. So you gotta be there with your credit card information automatically put in, all that stuff if you want to get on Hot Rod Drag Week. And there's a couple other events that are like that too. So Rocky Mountain Race Week 1 and 2 this year. So those things also seem to sell out pretty quick. All these events that are like that seem to be really hard to get into. So, but let me back up. If you're not familiar with Hot Rod Drag Week, so this is that you build a car and a drag car. So your goal is to, win a series of drag races, have the lowest ET at, I think it's 5 venues. I'm not sure the number, but you have to drive the car from venue to venue. So this car has to win the races, but also be streetable enough that it will make it to all the venues without breaking down. And so it's pretty grueling and it's pretty competitive to the point where the slowest class at Hot Rod Drag Week it's basically bracket racing, but you got to be running in the 10s to make it into the finals for the last day. So, and then the next slowest class is like an 850 class. And if you're not consistently running like pretty close to 850, you're not going to make it into like the finals of that. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think the average was like, it was between 850 and 860. But if you go faster than 850, you break out and you don't win. So I love the idea of that event. Love to go to one. Rocky Mountain Race Week is the same type of event. It's just in the Rocky Mountains, which, I'm a big fan of Colorado and the scenery there. And they're doing actually 2 of those this year. And their classes are divided up into some slower classes. So if you don't have a car that's running like 850s and like super consistent, you can go in a slower class, like a 10 or 11 or a 12 second class and be competitive with a car that's much slower. Or, for me, it'd be really just about having a good time and being able to complete it and say that I did it. So, those are some of my favorite ones. I got a couple more on my list too. So if you guys got any events that are your favorite that you're looking forward to, throw them in the chat there. I'd love to know about it. So I'm in St. Louis, so obviously I like events that are kind of close to me. But I've got my events that I want to do this year listed in order. So there's a Cleetus and Cars at Indianapolis on May 1st. Indy's like 3-4 hours from me, so it's not too bad of a drive. We already talked about Hot Rod Power Tour. We talked about Rocky Mountain Race Week. We talked about Drag Week. In St. Louis in September, they're doing a streetcar takeover. I like those events. I'd like to go to one. And then the one that the other one I want to go to this year is there's something called Duct Tape Drags, and it's in Tucson in October. So this last year, 2020, the only event that I got to go to was that one in Phoenix, and it was the Roadkill event. So they changed it from the $3,000 Hoopty Challenge to Duct Tape Drags, and they're doing it in October this year. So I'm pretty excited about that. It was a good time. Had a great time doing that last year. So other things that I'm thinking about, for car events that aren't maybe official ones, but there's things that are like on my list. I'd love to do a Route 66 trip. I just kind of a relaxed trip, just cruise, see the sights, take as much time as I can. I would love to do Tail of the Dragon. If you're not familiar with Tail of the Dragon, it's like one of the curviest roads in the United States. I believe it's in Tennessee, the border around like Tennessee and one of the Carolinas or something like that. I've driven on it twice, and each time it wasn't an ideal car. So I drove it in my wife's Denali a couple of years ago, and then before that, I drove it in a Volkswagen Jetta, and it was fun. But I'd love to take a fun car on it. I'd love to do like the Miata Kart or something like that down Tail of the Dragon. A couple other things on my personal list. I'd love to do autocross sometime this year. I've never done that. I don't really have a car to do autocross with, but I just think that would be fun. I'd love to go to more stuff at my local track. If you've got a local track, multiple days a week, you can go and race. I want to do that more often. Another thing that I've thought about doing is just a couple minutes from my house is one of those indoor go-kart tracks where the go-karts are like all electric and they're actually really fast. And the past couple of years, they've done a racing league, and it's inexpensive and it's a ton of fun. Those electric go-karts are way faster than you would think. And they're like pretty, driving one of those things hard really works you hard. And I would love to do that too. Just an easy weeknight, low cost. I don't have to invest thousands of dollars in a car to make sure it's competitive. Just go and have some fun. Some of those other things. I like Halia LS Fest. I've never been to one. I'd like to go to one. 1320 video ice cream cruise. That sounds like fun. The other thing I'd love to do is a Gambler 500. I've never done one of those. And throw some mud tires on like the Miata Kart or something. I think that would be a great event to go to. So I think time's getting away from us. So let's talk about the next giveaway is the hat that is yet to be seen. And we got another trivia question for you. And Pat D, you can't win 2 in a row. So if you want to win the hat, you got to answer this question. Next question, and these are all GM Chevy questions. So, maybe another time I'll do a different brand, but this is just what I got today. So what was the first GM production turbo car? So if you can name that, you get the hat. The first GM turbo production car. So, there's one answer, but I could probably take 2 answers because they came out in the same year. I don't know like which one hit the showrooms first or whatever, but so first GM production turbo car. If you got that answer, I'll send you a hat. So we got Ben Maskell on here with the Corsair Monza, and I know what you mean. You mean Corvair Monza. So Ben got that first answer. Now there's another possibility. So Ben, I'm going to give you the hat, but if anybody knows that other possibility, let me know. Yeah, Corvair Monza. I'm seeing it in the chat a couple times, but so Ben Maskell, you got that one first. Now, what I think the actual answer is the 62 Oldsmobile Jetfire, but they came out the same year, the Jetfire and the Corvair Monza. So either one of those I will accept. And obviously, if I've accepted the Corvair Monza from Ben as the answer. So that 62 Oldsmobile Jetfire is interesting because I was reading about this car and it had it basically had alcohol injection, and I think they called it rocket fuel. And if the car ran out of rocket fuel, then it would cut the boost, and seemed pretty cool, but it was ahead of its time. People weren't ready for that kind of stuff. So anyway, Ben, thanks for answering. figure out how to send you a hat here in a little bit. So if you want, so Ben, send me an email at just info@blackflag.com. Same for Pat D. Send me an email and get your info, and I'll send you those things that we talked about. So a couple more minutes here, and we will give away the final giveaway. I got one more. Excuse me. I got one more trivia question for the final giveaway. We're going to talk about that here in a couple minutes. But we're going to continue to talk about what's coming up for 2021 and what we're excited about in the car world. So I pretty much went through my list of events that I want to go to. I know I'm missing out on a lot of stuff because kind of my purview of events is pretty narrow. You know, I kind of just like the hot rod, muscle car kind of stuff. But I mean, there's a whole other world, many worlds in the car world that I don't know about. So if you guys have things you're looking forward to, I'd love to know about it. So Pat asking about the email, info @blackflag.com. Just make sure you spell it funny like it is in my name when I'm in the chat, the name of the channel. So info@blackflag.com if you want a trivia question. And I'll make sure that I got your info so that I can send you those things. All right, so let's do an update on some of the vehicles that you guys have been seeing in the videos. So if I look at my stats, it seems like half of the people are here because of the LS Swap Camaro. They love that project. They love either the LS Swap stuff or they love the second gen Camaro stuff. Then the majority of the other half of people looks like they're here because they found the Miata Kart video. And I kind of feel like those are two completely different groups of people as far as their interest in cars and stuff like that. I know there's some of you that are here because you like the Chevelle content too. So obviously, G Thompson, you're probably here because you like Chevelle content. Maybe you're digging the Camaro stuff too. But we do have more Chevelle content coming up. But let's do an update on a couple of those cars. So the LS Swap Camaro, we've spent a lot of time this year not working on it. So my goal for this year was to finish that car, and it's close. It runs. We fired it up, I think in November, December. I can't remember. We fired it up, and it's got like a healthy cam in it. It sounds really, really good. And to fire that thing up felt really good. So it sounds good. We just got a ton of stuff left to do with it. If you've watched any of the videos, that car had nothing. Like it didn't even have wiring. So buttoning up all of those little odds and ends is taking forever. But we filmed all of it. I got more video than I know what to do with that car. So you'll definitely see more video about the Camaro. Then let's do an update on the Miata Kart as well. So because half of the people on the channel have probably found the channel because of the Miata Kart. Zero has happened with the Miata Kart since we parked it in January. So if you've been watching those videos, we blew it up before we even got to the track at the Phoenix event, or not Phoenix, but wherever that was in Arizona, Tucson. We were about an hour from Tucson, and I turned the turbo up, and it blew the rods outside of the block. So it's been sitting in the same spot in the shop for almost a year. We've thought about throwing a V8 in it. And I mean, obviously everybody loves the sound of a small block, but surprisingly, I really like the way that little 4-cylinder, that Miata sounds. It was just so much fun. But we'll see what happens with that. We got another Miata this last year, and we haven't done anything with it either. Bought it because I wanted to make another Miata Kart, but I don't know if we're even going to do anything with it. Might end up selling that car. I don't know. Not the Miata Kart, but the new Miata that was going to be Miata Kart 2. So that's what's going on with both those videos. But let's talk for a minute about some of the other videos we're going to have coming up here in a little bit. Sorry, guys, my throat's super dry. I don't think I've talked this much in weeks. I just sit in my house and, don't go anywhere, so I don't talk to people. But my throat's super scratchy because this is the longest I've talked in weeks. So, excuse me. So here's what we got coming up. We have a Freedom Factory tour video. So It was either November or December. We went down there and we got to be like part of the first group that saw the Freedom Factory, like kind of the first public group that got to go and see it. So we've got some video with like a little tour of that. If you're not familiar with the Freedom Factory, if you've ever watched that channel, Cletus McFarland, he bought an old racetrack, like a paved oval, and it's right next to Bradenton Motorsports Park, the drag strip. So we went over there, we checked that out. We got some video for it. So that's coming up. The next thing we have coming up, which I'm excited about, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't put anything out about this, but over the last year when we were kind of like all locked at home, I shot a couple episodes of a podcast, and I know what you're thinking, like, last thing we need is another podcast, but got some interesting people for the podcast. So we got Mike Cotton, and he is on the show Faster with Finnegan. He's also been on a couple episodes of Roadkill, I believe. And Mike Cotton he probably lives an hour from me. He lives in Illinois. So we got an episode where we talk with him. We got an episode where we talk with Matt Henry. Matt Henry is better known online as Imperial Beach Dad. If you're familiar with him, he has he had a brain tumor a couple of years ago, kind of completely changed the course of his life. And but he's really active in the hot rod community. He has this car that's called the Punish Stang, and it's like the weirdest Mustang you've ever seen, but it's really cool. So we got an episode with him, and then we have an episode with Jared Pink. And if you don't know who Jared Pink is, he has a channel called Wrench Every Day, pretty popular channel on YouTube, and he also does a lot of work on the Tavarish channel. So if you've ever seen Tavarish likes to go and buy like the cheapest of this Lamborghini or supercar or, you know, something like that, and then he restores them. So basically his whole channel is buying like wrecked supercars. And so Jared Pink, we did an episode with him too. So those are going to come out here in like the next 3 weeks. I've kind of been kicking myself for not getting those out and keep saying that I'm going to get those out. So we have that coming. And then we're going to have more LS Swap Camaro videos. Obviously, we have a couple videos about the Chevelle. We got Pat D in there saying that he loves Tavarish. Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of YouTube recently. I've kind of been on a break from that stuff for the past month or two, but yeah, Tavarish's channel is super cool. I've enjoyed watching even kind of the progression of his channel. So we do have some Chevelle videos coming up, and part of those videos were in prep to go to Cletus and Cars. So we redid the turbo setup on the Chevelle, that original inline six setup. We took the turbo that blew the Miata cart up and we put it on the Chevelle and did a couple other things to it. And then we took it down to Cletus and Cars. And it was very embarrassing what happened at Cletus and Cars, but we're going to share that video. I mean, it wasn't even an epic fail. It was a just embarrassing fail with that car. So we're going to share those videos, and then we're going to share how we're going to transform that thing, because I'm finally just sick of it, you know, being mediocre, and I'm going to tear into it and do some of the stuff that I should have done to it years ago. And so, yeah, you're going to see a lot of stuff with the Chevelle coming up. We have some more videos with the C10. So the C10 belongs to Ryan, and we've never really featured it, besides it's been in a couple of videos when we pull it out of the shed to work on other stuff. But the C10 is pretty special. It is the truck that's in this sticker right here. So C10 was my grandpa's truck, and it's just kind of your regular, you know, pretty nice truck. It's got disc brakes, and it's got like a 70s Camaro 350 in it. Nothing special, sounds cool, runs good. So we took that and we took it to the track, baselined it. We did a bunch of stuff to it, cam header, like, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And we took it back to the track. And we haven't shared any of that video yet. So we're going to do a video of, this is kind of like just basic small block hot rodding 101 stuff, and see how far we get with some just basic mods. And then we're going to take that thing and we're going to LS swap it and see if we can LS swap it in a day. I don't know when we're going to do this. We haven't scheduled the video yet, but so sometime this year, that's going to happen. So we're going to start putting out those videos too. And finally, the last update, after we finish that, the Camaro, we're going to work on the Mustang. And we probably haven't talked about the Mustang on the channel either. So I have a 02 Mustang GT convertible, and when I bought it, the engine blew up on the way home. So instead of just putting like a regular 4.6 2-valve motor in it, I thought, for the same price, I could do something else. So I bought like the Navigator 5.4 32-valve dual overhead cam motor. And I got that home, and it was bad because the guy sold me a bad one. So then I got another one, and it's just been sitting. So we're going to swap that 5.4 into the Mustang, and it may just go down the road, and we'll be done with it. But we're going to get to our final giveaway here in about 2 minutes. But I think that's everything. I mean, I think I talked about everything on the channel. Anyways, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I'm super grateful that you guys have watched the content, that the channel's grown. Some may say 1,000 subscribers isn't very much, but I'm super happy about it because I've thought about doing this channel for years and years. I want to do a lot more. And so I'm just grateful you guys have been watching, commenting, and stuff like that. So thank you guys. All right. So here's our last giveaway. Last giveaway is going to be a Chevelle shirt like this. It's not going to be exactly like this. This is like the first one I ever made. The new ones are black, but they have the Chevelle on it. So last question. This might be an easy one if you're a GM guy. So thanks, Pat D, for the you deserve it. So, but here comes the last question. So what was the first GM fuel injected car? And there's multiple answers I could take on this one too, but that's what I'm looking for. So the first GM fuel injected car. Yep, we got Brandon Bauman, Corvette. Brandon, you know what? I mean, you should know what year that Corvette came out, but yeah, that's correct. Yep, Pat D with the 57 Corvette. Do we know for sure, like, was the Corvette the very first car with fuel injection? Because if you do the searches, it says Corvette and passenger cars all got fuel injection. I mean, I would say it's the Corvette, but I mean, I don't know what the real answer is. I'm not like a historian or anything. But anyway, so Brandon Bauman, hopefully I'm saying your name right, Bauman. So that t-shirt is yours. If you want to send me an email, info@blackflagged.com. Send me an email with your info, and I will send you that t-shirt. So I did have a comment here, Marcus, talking about the Mercedes. Yes, the Mercedes did have the first fuel injection, but they're not GM. GM is, I was looking for the first GM fuel injected car, because today we're just talking about GM stuff. So, but Marcus, you are correct. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for making this first live stream a success. I'm excited you guys came. I was worried I was going to come and not be talking to anybody. So thanks guys for hanging out on a Sunday, spending a little bit of your evening with me. And thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.